and gentlemen.
Hello, it's me. I'm here. I didn't mean for a third song to start. That was my bad. Anyway, hi. Oh my gosh. Happy New Year. It is 2026. The first time I wrote the date, I didn't fuck it up. So, that's a hooray for me. That's a success for me. How many people are here? Let me take a quick look. Let me look at the... Oh, there's about 20 people here. That's awesome. Hit the like button if you haven't. That's always good. I'm sure we'll talk about the crazy fucking news, but mostly, I don't know, mostly we'll not start there. You know, we'll get to there at some point. But this is no longer primarily a politics show. So let me put this poll up here. Okay, I put a poll in the chat if anybody's interested. Yeah, 24 people here, 19 likes. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know how to respond to what's going on in the world. You know, you ever feel that way? You ever feel like you're like, oh man, I don't really know. This is a new development, you know? So that's kind of how I feel about what's going on in the world. So I've kind of scaled back, you know, and I've been scaling back for a bit to try focusing on things that I have control over. Oh, is my internet going to be funny today? Please let me know if the stream just fucked up, because I feel like it did. Let me close a couple of things here that I don't need right now. Don't need this right now. Okay. Sometimes I leave tabs open for a long time because they remind me that I need to do something. Okay, we'll put that away. I haven't known how to respond to the world in decades at this point. Yeah, truly. Nice wings. Thank you. I'm finding myself kind of frustrated with this. I just did it for the first time in like 2 months yesterday. Put on eyeliner. It's like, this is the one thing that I feel like I need to work on more. And like, I don't know that I really need to do eyeshadow on the top of my eyes. So I'm just like, let's work on this. I get, maybe it's a matter of just having cheap products, but I have such a hard time with the transfer. Like, literally, like the part of my eye that's like getting close to the inside of the cat eye, there is a hood on my eye there. So I put on the eyeliner where it goes, and then I have my little fan, you know, I like make it dry. I'm like, hey, can you dry, please? Can you dry? Can you dry? Can you dry? Can you dry? And then I spray it with setting powder. And then even more, I'm like, hey, can you dry? Or setting spray, I guess. I'm like, hey, will you dry? Please, 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 please. And it still transfers onto my upper lid. So I don't know. Maybe I have to put on like a neutral tone eyeshadow or something to get it to stop doing that. But I don't know. It's like It looks good on the outside, but all of the lid part is just fucked up. So I'm just gonna not blink for the entire stream. Are you ready for this? I'm just gonna not blink. Anyway, hi to the YouTube chat. There's Nikki, there's Dally Greaser, we got Mabs, we got Radvillas, hello. Riffs, no leads, what's up? Hooray to the new year at least. Yeah, totally. So, I don't really know what to expect from 2026. I'm like a little bit more hopeful. Well, at least I was on the night of, like when we had our little New Year's. I thought you did it on your lids on purpose. Some of it is on purpose. But some of it is also just like, well, it's going to transfer. It's already transferred anyway, so let me just paint over it like it was intentional. So, yeah, we had to adapt. We do live in profoundly stupid times. That's so true. What's up in a box? Psychoplebeian, Drea, hello, on the website chat. This is my website chat. It's not Twitch. I don't dual stream. I don't have that capability at this time. I am about to get like my business account set up and everything, so I should maybe be able to like, oh my god, I fucking swear to god, my phone. Too many things. Stop telling me things. Anyway, yes, hooded eyes are difficult to have with eyeliner, so we do what we can. What is everybody else's resolutions? Do you have any resolutions? Came in during you complaining about your makeup. You look fine. Do I look fine? Can you see what I'm working with here? It's really frustrating. This is after I had to go in and like clean it and like wipe it off, and then realizing that I wasn't going to be able to completely succeed, and then just like putting eyeliner there. Riffs No Leads makes a very good point. If you're going to donate to me, the dragon, do it on the website chat. It's luxander.net/donate. So yeah, that's great. Thank you. It would be the first dono of the new year, I think. We got donations during the last stream. As usual, we have the treasure chest, and we'll open the treasure chest if we get to the stream goal, which is $100. Nikki says, resolution, to win in all areas of my life. I won't accept losing anymore. Fuck yeah. I don't have any resolutions. Yeah. Normally, I feel like I don't deliberately take on resolutions, or maybe every once in a while, every couple of years I will, but I do have one this year, but I'll wait to talk about it until later. 2026, gonna try dating again. Ooh, my resolution is to survive 2026. That would be a goal. Treasure chest, yeah, you see my treasure chest over there in the green light. It's got secrets in it. It's got secrets in it, and every time we reach the stream goal, whatever the monetary goal is, so usually it's $100 per stream. If we get to $100, then I will open the treasure chest and we will see what secrets lie within. My resolution is to go back to college after my gap year turned into 4 years. Oops, hey, you know what? You're still young, so you got plenty of time. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Trans Unfiltered. I struggled a lot. I was just explaining that I was struggling a lot with this makeup, and it's like, honestly, I still am not really happy with how it turned out, but, you know, I'm literally just doing it to do it. Like, I'm doing it because I didn't do it for several months, and it set me back on all of my practice. I am not good at, like, drawing and shit like that, so we're learning to have a steady hand. We're learning what needs to go where on my very hooded, droopy eyes. So hopefully, even if it's messy, it doesn't look terrible. I want to be the highest resolution, 4K Ultra HD. True. Some resolutions are made to be bent, others broken immediately. Yeah. New Year's resolution, year of advanced fitness. Ooh, what does advanced fitness include? Neppy says, I was in the hospital New Year's to January 2nd, so my resolution is to let life treat me better than that every day. So far, mild luck. Oh no. I hope that whatever it is has cleared up, or that you have a solid treatment plan.
Rich
oh my gosh.
has donated $5. Have some moolah.
Thank you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you very much, Riff, starting us off strong with a donation to the website of $5. Namaste. I am a person who, not infrequently in my life, I unironically say namaste because I do yoga sometimes, and if she prompts me to say namaste at the end, then I say namaste. I'm like, thank you. But it's mostly like, because namaste means thank you, I'm pretty sure. It's like I'm thanking myself for taking the time to sit there and do the practice. It's very healthy for you to be grateful to yourself. Here we go. ADHD explosion of attempted projects and shit littered everywhere. The kitchen's clean though. So many things, no time, no organization. Haven't had a smorgasbord of possibilities in front of me like this since I was graduating from high school and still had hope. Off to continue my chaos goblin ways. Well, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. And yeah, I understand that that's got to be chaotic, but I also kind of envy it a little bit because I feel like I don't have enough going on, but my brain is kind of starting to like wake back up after I've been like super fucking depressed, and I'm like not trying to say that that's better, but I do feel like certain parts of my brain are like turning back on. And so I've been, I decided I would like to learn how to use Adobe Illustrator more because I want to be able to like make my own fucking logo since there are no real artists anymore that exist. So yeah, that's a thing that I would like to try to do. And yeah, I don't know. I cleaned up a little bit this weekend, did a bunch of laundry this week. I say Danke a lot despite not being German, yes. I thought namaste was a hello. Okay, apparently, according to Wikipedia, it's like a greeting or an honorific kind of. So it's like, why do you say it at the end of yoga? It's just like, I think, like, I honor you for being here. I don't know. I don't really get it. But she says a lot of things. The lady who I follow the yoga of, she says a lot of stuff that I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't actually know if I would be able to remember any of the words. I guess like Savasana is the one where you are laying flat on the floor. I don't know. Oh, when my comment about there being no artists, like the last 3 or 4 times I have tried to use the like hashtag commission function on any social media to find an artist, to the best of my knowledge, to the best of my ability to determine, based on like the way that people interact and looking at their profile and seeing what links they have, I think that most of the accounts, if not all of the accounts who respond when I say, hey, I have some art that I need to have finished, they are bots. Like I just don't think they're people. Like I think that they are not real people. So I don't get very far into the process before I'm like, oh, this person's not real. Hedonism on the to-do list this year? Yeah, I honestly do. I think that's a good idea. Or they use AI. Like, possibly. Like, I mean, like, yeah, the way that they talk or the art itself or like the manner of their interactions with other people, the lack of a link to other, like an artist will have a link tree where they're like, here's my art on DeviantArt, here's where, here's my portfolio, whatever. I think I did find one. I think I did find one that I was like, that seems like a real person. The only artist I know who does comms keeps telling me they'll do art for me for free. And I'm like, no, I need to pay a real artist for art. And we're at an impasse. Y'all know the emojis that we have here, the custom emojis, like Peppo Love or Peppo Hug or whatever the fuck it's called. Like all of the dragon version emojis, those were done by EB the Purple as a donation. So that's what she kind of told me that kind of changed my mind about this is like, I accept cash donations. Therefore, I should be willing to accept art donations. That's different from me soliciting free art. That's a different thing, I think. If someone is like, hey, I want to make this for you, I feel like it makes sense for it to fall into that category of like a donation. So, because EB was like, I don't have any money to donate, so I would like to make you something. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Katie says, I felt weird talking about what's going on with me because the world is pretty fucked. And I'm like, hi, I'm happy for the first time in 30 years in a real way. Feels fucked up, to be honest. I feel like I first noticed this when I was in high school. It seemed like whenever things were going well with me, all my friends were in a shit place. And then conversely, like anytime I felt really shitty, all my friends were doing well. So sometimes it just happens like that. It just do be like that, though, sometimes. Are you EB the purple? Not EEBEE. Just EB. So, man, I feel like there's a difference between resolutions and just having a lot of stuff to do this year, you know? Like, I'm still doing some stuff business-wise, like on the business end of things that I did make some progress on in the last couple months, but I need to like finish soon. So business stuff, admin stuff like that. I guess like the goal this year is to just, well, first of all, I want to reach 40,000. That's important to me. 40,000 subscribers on YouTube. Right now, we're like less than 1,000 away, but still like 1,000 away is still significant for a channel that's as small as mine. That still takes a while. Current projections show that happening in like April. So I guess I would like to make it my birthday goal. So by the end of March, I would like to hit 40,000 subs here. And so of course that's going to require from me like some consistency. I'm just going to have to like put my nose to the grindstone a little bit more, but I'm again hoping to get my health figured out in a way that enables me to get more work done. So all these things kind of tie together. Fixing one thing involves fixing another thing. Excuse me. My resolution is to be more political, more hot as fuck, and more of a bitch. I'm already doing those things. I just want to do more of them. Those are the easiest resolutions, right? When you it's something that you're already doing, right? So if I were to say that working out is my resolution, like, okay, well, I've like been doing that on and off anyway. And I started doing it like with more serious regularity when I recovered from my insane insomnia issue that I was having in December. So it was like I like started working out before the time of resolutions to start, so I could just cheat and say that that's one of my resolutions. But 5 days off, hey, that sounds fun. I am working every day until Friday, and that started when did that start actually? Because technically on Wednesday I did do the stream with Jimmy and all them, so like that was for fun, but it was still like a work appearance. So I have worked every day since Saturday the 27th, and I will not have no work obligations until January 9th. So that's an interesting thing that can happen with my combination of jobs. Of course, like it's only a couple hours. When it comes to like Tuesdays, I only work for about 2.5, 3 hours, I guess closer to 3. So yeah, but that's just fun. It's like I'm probably going to turn every aspect of communications off on Friday so that I don't have to talk to anyone for work purposes. Like, hey, nobody's texting me today. No work texts. Don't talk to me. Maybe I should even like tell them on Thursday, like, hey, please don't need me tomorrow. I will not be available. One must set attainable goals. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Do stuff that's attainable. So my one resolution that I set this year is like, I don't actually know. Honestly, I kind of set it because it's going to be really hard to reach. I was like contemplating this, and if you remember my Patreon, you've already seen me because I had a little text post that I wrote up about this. Because like sometimes like setting one goal, it like requires you to do so many other things that functionally you've created a list of like 10 things that you want to do. So my resolution is to put on 10 pounds of muscle, which sounds pretty small, I think. And I think in the past for me, that might have been more attainable than what it feels like right now. Because right now, I feel like there is a mountain of medical shit that I need to do. And the workout exercise routine that I've been on is like it's like a 6-month routine to get you to a place where you can just exercise normal. But it takes like 4 months of assuming that you're able to be totally consistent with it, 4 months of just getting to the point where you can exercise upright again. 10 pounds of muscle sounds like a lot to me. Yeah. So I guess like it, to be fair, like most of the workouts that I do are for my legs. And so I feel like it's going to be fine. Like I'll be able to maybe do some, not squats, but like rows, stuff like that. Like, I don't know, just bicycles or like leg press or something. So I feel like I can put the muscle on my lower body. I'm okay with that. And like people with estrogen in their bodies put muscle on the lower bodies easier than their upper bodies. Bringing back the flex goal, like my arms are so pathetic right now. It's like, it's only like what baby was born with. Going to be getting in deep, forming a tenants union to advocate against our authoritative housing director. Congratulations. Yes. So I guess like some things that I intend to do, but not necessarily like that are resolutions, but rather like, okay, so here's the thing. I am so lonely, so very lonely a lot of the time. And I recognize that a big part of that is that I have not done a good job of keeping up with my friendships online. And also I have not successfully made any friends physically in real space since I moved here, which has been almost a year. It will be a year later this month that we arrived here, we got here, we've settled in. So since Mitternacht passed away, I'm feeling that loneliness much more significantly because later riffs, gonna attempt dating again, but also be fat and lazy. Good combo. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot where I was. So yeah, like, so I need to start doing things that involve like being out of my house, first of all, because like my younger sibling, not interested in hanging out with me. Like they're about to start school and whatever. And my partner and I going through it, blah, blah, blah. We've touched on it before. I'm not giving details as usual, but we're going to start therapy at some point soon. So blah, blah, blah. That's another 2026 goal. But anyway, so I just am alone like all the time. So I'm going to make a point to, so first of all, like reach out to my friends more often, check in, ask how people are doing. And I'm probably going to visit Seattle soon. Go ahead and, because a lot of my friends do live there. I just haven't, I have not made time to go up there since I moved here. It's going to be quite a drive, but I'm just going to go up, hang out, leave. And I want to volunteer. There's an organization that I'm looking at that is, it's like an LGBTQ youth organization. So I was kind of like, I think it's time for me to start helping younger people, maybe. Like, so I'm gonna check that out and see, or maybe there's some organization that they could tie me to that would be like more directly, like I could be more directly impactful. I don't know, but I'm just gonna learn some about their volunteer opportunities and see if that's maybe something that I could do. Can relate on the lonely part. Haven't had a local friend in over a decade now. Yeah, I they just need to go places and meet people, right? So here's my like plan for doing it. LGBTQ Center, if I can volunteer there, that would be very helpful. I also am aware of like a couple of different fiber arts groups. So this month I'm going to check out a fiber arts, so a crochet and knitting group, and just see like, is this a place where I can come sit quietly for an hour a couple times a month or whatever, and then like get to know people, if not like making close friends, at least like speaking to people. It was like I don't do a lot of that, so yeah. And like, I mean, I work, obviously. I have coworkers. I talk to the hosts before the show and after the show, and I've got the production team, Jimmy and Arden, who are both my friends, who I talk to for regularly with work and everything. But yeah, definitely like getting out of my fucking house and being out of my fucking house. So those are the two things that I've got right now. There's a fiber arts group that I'm going to go check out soon, and I want to try out this volunteering opportunity if they're open to receiving volunteers at this time. And I haven't talked to my partner about it at all, but I'm like probably going to get a new cat because like I hate it. Like I hate not having a cat around. So that's partially why I've been cleaning a bit too, is being like, there is a bunch of shit on the floor in my office. There's like not enough space for my stuff. So I just need to put some stuff back in boxes and put that away. Or like start shredding all of the paperwork that I have been accumulating. So yeah, that's kind of like my plan. I don't know. Lux, why are you so lonely? Are all the other Viltrumites afraid of you? Does no one want to be your friend? Do they think you're unstable? Listen, I don't have a mohawk. Or is this, we find out that I just have a mohawk that I've grown out? Dun, dun, dun. I actually can't remember if that's the right one. But anyway. Did I tell you guys that, so you guys know already probably that I have the Invincible omnibus of like the 3 chunky fucking books. I've shown them off before. One of my Christmas presents was the Adam Eve stories. So Compendium 1 of the Invincible Universe stories. And so this is like got starts with like, if you guys saw the Adam Eve special, I think it was like between seasons 2 and 3 of Invincible. These are like full color everything. This is like pretty nice, high quality stuff. Big, thick, chunky books. Lena, didn't know you weren't subbed. Well, thank you for joining us here. Appreciate you. It's not a huge deterrent, but I'm sorry you had to wait a minute, but that 1 minute is, I think, enough of a deterrent that people can't just come in here and immediately start trolling. You don't even have to put a huge barrier. It just needs to be a little speed bump, and people will be like, oh, I don't care. So, and I also love to use it when trolls do come in. I'm like, you really sat there for 1 whole minute, 60 seconds, contemplating how you were going to make a stranger's life worse today. Like, 10 days till I'm an Oregonian too. Nice. High five. Yes, 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 yes. I work at an LGBTQ nonprofit. Hell yeah, that's awesome. My goal is to claw back some of the life I traded for the PhD, starting with music practice. Fuck yes. Yeah, now that you're done with the PhD, you have a lot more free time, right? Of course, like, still the job search and how shitty that is now, but, you know. Anyway. I do a lot of charity work. I've met so many people while doing that. Highly recommend. Yes. I do think that even if I don't stick with it, just doing it in the first place is good. We want to teach each other, teach ourselves, teach our bodies that it's safe to talk to people and it's safe to go places and safe to do things. So you go and you hang out at the group, and like maybe it's not like a fun time. Maybe you're like, oh, this sucks and this group of people sucks. Like, okay, with fiber arts, so knitting and crochet and that kind of thing, obviously that is an old lady thing. And so I don't, like, obviously there is a chance that there will be annoying old lady Republicans at a fiber arts group, but I am hoping the particular one that I've chosen, because of where it is, like because of who hosts it, I'm hoping that it's going to lean at least more politically left, if not younger, as far as the crowd. So we'll see. You know, who knows? Do you ever get mistaken for a trans woman? All the time, all the time. But no, I don't feel bad. I'm trans. Like, you know, just because I'm not a woman doesn't mean. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, being misgendered in general doesn't make me feel bad. So it used to, but it just doesn't anymore. And I love trans women, so eye makeup looks good. Thank you. That's because you can't really see it, but it's like you can't actually see the horror going on the part of my lid that you can't see. The job search is so far matching my most pessimistic expectations. Well, there you go. Eyeliner's kind of hitting, not gonna lie. Thank you, everybody. I was really struggling with it, so I'm glad that it looks decent, at least on camera. I really was having a hard time with it, not wanting to do what I wanted it to do. I don't know why people go out of their way to tear others down. That one guy in your last Jimmy chat was just, what the fuck? Do you mean the guy who came on to say that he sucks his own dick? Is that the one? Crocheting groups usually have younger people. Okay. It's a fiber arts group in general, so I don't know. Whoa. I don't know who primarily is there and what crafts specifically they focus on. It's a fiber arts group. It could be full of a bunch of people who quilt. I don't know any fucking thing about quilting. That's like my mother-in-law does that. As an AFAB trans person, someone hit me with the sir yesterday and it was amazing. That's awesome. My personal hopium is that chat trolls are mostly teenagers because teenagers are likely to grow out of it. Right. It's like if it's a whole adult, you're like more worried that person is never going to recover. At least if they're a teenager, they can look back on that and be like, that was a cringe phase. We love you, signed the trans woman hive mind. That's awesome. I do appreciate trans women. They are pretty great. Also, the majority of women I know are trans. I'm pretty sure. So, self-fellatio is pretty gay. Yeah, if you guys missed it, the last time I was on Jimmy Snow and the Line, where we do same call-in show thing, but it's in the vertical format, and so we get more like, we do more political calls rather than atheism-oriented calls. And yeah, this one guy, he waited for like 20 minutes or something in the queue to come on, and like he started pretending like he had some real argument, and then he was like, hey, that top person on the screen, my dick's so big that I can suck it, or whatever. I don't know what exactly he said. It's something about having a big dick and something about sucking his own dick. And I was like, wow, that was crazy. The sexual harassment is so weird. I'm not bothered by it, but I was just like, wow, that was crazy. You came in here to say that you were gay and then you left? Like, I know sucking your own dick isn't gay per se, but you know what I mean? It was like, I just thought it was really funny. Like, oh, you're trying to be like a weird asshole, but you're just like, I suck my own dick. So I think I've brought this up before. That guy practiced a lot of yoga. True, Witchfinder. That's so true. General Solomon Kane. Are you somebody who's commented on the line before? I feel like I've seen Solomon Kane on like super chats or something. Or maybe I guess that's just a person who other people might have taken that same name. I don't remember what I was saying. Okay, yeah, so I saw a Twitter thread one time that was like, hey, so those of you who are flexible enough or big enough to have sucked your own dick before, question, the experience of sucking your own dick, is it more like the experience of having your dick sucked, or is it more like the experience of sucking a dick? And I believe the majority of the comments said it's more like sucking a dick, which makes sense because your face and your mouth are involved in the process. So like even if it feels good in the penis area, it probably like it's still like your primary experience of the function is like having a dick in your mouth. So that's pretty funny. Yeah, dude waited 20 minutes on the queue to say that he was gonna suck his own dick. It was crazy. I've had a moment where someone couldn't decide between sir and ma'am, and it was like, wait, I might like that. See? This is just very random and funny, but on Christmas, we were like sitting in the floor doing Lego or whatever the fuck we were doing, and I can't remember why, but my partner jokingly called me mommy, and I was like, didn't hate that. Like, I don't know, it was just very funny. I used to be just flexible enough for that, and the answer is that it's mostly like stretching your neck and back really far. Okay, fair. Fair, fair. Yeah, it's, I bet, mostly just uncomfortable. On my current USPS route, I have a lot of LGBTQ flags and Trump flags, but one of the MAGA people always calls me ma'am, and I'm like, if you didn't support hate, I would like you. Yeah, that's fair. USPS, it's a job that has you interfacing with a lot of people. I have had so many weird interactions, and I only did it for a year. I had a lot of very interesting interactions during my time as a mail carrier. It was wacky. My copium is that most trolls are a combination of kids, teenagers, drunk, or experiencing some sort of mental health issue that they could recover from, because if trolling is just an intractable character flaw, then damn. Yes, that's true. I do think there's probably lots of people who are just like, haha, I just don't take anything seriously. I just like getting a rise out of people. Um, I'm hoping that that is a relative minority, because we do sometimes have people call in who it's like, it seems like you're drunk. Why are you drunk calling us? What are you doing here? You all have to deal with so many gross and difficult people during the call-in shows. I mean, the person you should really feel bad for is our screeners, because our screeners, we have 4 of them. You think like, oh, we get the wackiness. There is a person filtering those calls for us. And I don't know if people always realize that. I don't screen the calls. There's like a person who takes the information down and makes sure their name is spelled correctly and everything before that information gets sent to me so that I can change the Chiron on the show. Yeah, so we do have to deal with some crazy people, but it certainly is not as bad as if I also had to screen the calls. So what's really funny is before Jimmy offered me the producing gig, he had previously asked if I wanted to screen calls, and I was like, no. Like, nope, that does not sound like what I want to be doing. It does not sound like what I would, no, I'm good. Even though they get paid, no, thank you. So, yeah, God bless, like Steph, Jess, Dragon, and Luthien for taking the primary heat. Your call screeners must be angels with neutronium armor. Oh, yeah. Coffee time. Time for coffee. I am fully a tea person now. Just fully on tea. No. I like having a little variety of stuff. I like a little fancy tea sometimes. Sometimes I'll just get whatever is at Walmart and cheap green tea. But it's nice to have a little variety. I called into Takis once. They wouldn't let me through because I wasn't spicy enough. They're selecting for the stupid callers. Yes. So to be clear, yeah. So this is actually something that we are changing about Takis this year, because so if we don't have any spiciness, then there are 0 clips from that show. So I think before we used to limit the number of friendly or advice callers that would call in, and more recently it's just been like we're kind of taking all of them. So this year, we're going to limit that. And we're going to, I think another thing that we do on Takis is we tend to, a lot of the times we just take the callers as they come in. But we're going to more likely, like if we have 2 callers who are friendly on the line, we might just vamp and talk a little bit and, try to convince people to call in and save those toward the end of the show so that we don't end up we lose a lot of viewers during the friendly calls. Views go up during spicy calls. You should all know that if you don't already. That's the whole fucking thing about taking them, as well as having the clips to upload later. So yeah. And I've told you it's frustrating to feel like my job is basically to be a therapist for the entire 3 hours of Takis. What I'm learning is that I do not want to be a therapist. It takes a lot of energy. I could be good in a peer support role, but it's hard when someone's coming to you for advice and they're like, that they're going to listen to what you have to say and you have to be careful. And they're like, well, that won't work because da da da. Okay, we just need to limit that somewhat so that we have a better balance. So this is what it is to be on a production team for a major, a big channel with a lot of employees and expanded growth planned. We plan on really trying to grow the line, and we're doing more shows. The reason why I'm working for 2 solid weeks in a row is because we have so much shit to do. Wait, hold on. Actually, did I do a 'Cause I Wanna that weekend? Am I incorrect about what was the last day I had off? I did a 'Cause I Wanna this past weekend. I did do a 'Cause I Wanna on the 27th. So I haven't had a day off since January 26th. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did not do anything of value on January 26th. I feel like I did, but I can't recall, so I'm not going to commit to that. So I haven't had a day off since the 26th, and I'm not going to get a day off until the 9th. Oh, that's fun. Screening is thankless and valuable. Check out Mermaid Ari or Dean Withers to see the bottom of the barrel that just hop onto the live to scream the N-word while being younger than 18. Yeah, that's we can't afford that as much, so if y'all bring me on again, I'll go live right beforehand and gather a gaggle of dumb people and tell them to call in when the show starts. Yeah, that could be fun. Maybe do it 'Cause I Wanna sometime. Expand Takis more over Atlantic, bringing more European creators. I don't know what to tell you. We are trying out new creators all the time. We've been having more guests on Takis, or trans guests who we're trying to vet to see if we want to spend more of our resources expanding the relationship and everything. But there aren't a ton. You have to understand, it's a very specific confluence of things that we need. So we need people who are trans. We don't have cis hosts on Takis, so we need hosts who are trans. who are already doing some form of activism and who are good at debate and who want to fucking do it. So, like, the pool of people is actually much smaller than you may imagine for, and like at first, our guests, like, okay, so anytime we have a guest, that person does not make money on our show. If we bring someone on as a regular contributor, then that person can make money. But so how many people are like willing to do 2 or 3 or 4 shows with us for free before they start getting paid? Like, it's tricky. Oh, and yes, you also do kind of need to be an atheist. Yeah, I forgot about the atheist part. So we're not going to bring in like a trans Christian to be on Takis, even if they're really good at debate. Resting is of value. I agree. And like I said earlier, when I say like I'm working, that's usually like Sunday is my biggest day. So on Sundays, I stream and then I go work the production job. And so actually Sunday is my longest day of the week. Whereas every other time, it's usually only maximum of like 3 hours. So even when I say like I'm working every day, as far as production goes, now I do need to spend more time filming and editing in my own shit, which I've got a couple things. I want to make a video about Fire and Ash. That's going to be for Musing Moss channel. So I actually do need to do that tomorrow because I don't have anything scheduled to go up on Tuesday. And I've been consistently uploading on Tuesday on that channel because I was doing all those re-uploads from before. So media reviews, media takes starting to happen. 3 hours a day isn't that bad, yes. But also keep in mind, looking out in the future, for those of you who love the Forrest and Erica shows, we're basically just doing one per month now. So one Monday every month, I work for like a solid 8-hour production stream. The weird contradiction. Oh my God, I fucking agree, Bradley. I do find this so annoying. The weird contradiction that the cis hosts, Jimmy, Javon, and Forrest, get all the shittier transphobes. We should do an April Fool's Day Takis where it's just cis people talking about trans stuff. That would be very funny. I do think that would be quite funny. And I did it because I want to with Forrest, because I was like, you get transphobic callers. I want to talk to the transphobic callers. And then nobody... Like, we didn't get any spicy callers that day, really. I was like, ugh, this is disappointing. That's actually got me curious. What day is April Fool's? It's a Wednesday this year. So it wouldn't be a true April Fool's if we did that. Is it going to be next year in 2027? Can we have a Oops All Cis hosts in 2027? We could. We could do a Oops All Cis hosts on the Takis in the 2027 April. That's quite amusing. Transphobes are scared of talking to trans people. True. They're cowards. Everyone needs more spice in their life. Takis spice, that is. Yeah. And I do need to go through some of my recent shows and pick some more clips to either cut down or respond to in some way. There's a couple, like I said, with Josie especially, where it's like we just hug boxed the whole show. And so I'm like, okay, there's no clips from this. There's no point. Having to wrangle Forrest and Erica for 8 hours sounds exhausting. It's not too bad. I mean, by the time we get to Super Chats, I might be like, excuse me, remember how you guys just said that you were not going to take forever on Super Chats and how you just spent like 5 minutes responding to that one Super Chat? I would like to go to bed now. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And as Jimmy pointed out, it's like 20% of my income in a given month. Like that one 8-hour show is like a big, I don't know if 20% is probably like an exaggeration, but it's a big chunk of my income. So it's worth doing it, even if it is kind of annoying. the trans hosts get weirdly ignored when there is a cis person a lot of the times. Sometimes. I don't know. I guess I don't host with cis people super often, so maybe I just haven't noticed. I mean, of course, and I am a femme, so we're dealing with like a different issue where like frequently I will be with a cis male host, like Jimmy, for example, and I will get interrupted or ignored, I think because I'm femme and not because I'm trans. It's hard to tell exactly what comes from what, but that's my opinion. Is it's just misogyny. It's really hard to claim a boogeyman about the literal person you're talking to. Sure, possibly. Or honestly, I wonder if it's just that, like, I think cis people are regarded as experts. And so someone like Forrest, who knows about biology, that because he's cis, because he's a man, because he has a biology degree, people are more interested in trying to debunk him. And like, I just think that I, as a trans person, have less legitimacy to these people, which is whatever. I understand it. Like, I just don't care about my opinion. It's always funny when I get talked over as a trans femme. It's like, well, I guess I'm seen as a woman for conversation now. True. That shit irritates my soul when a femme and cis man are hosting together and the caller is blatantly disrespectful to the femme presenting person. Yo, last night, Born Again Atheist was on with John, and dude, like, I do find it really frustrating. I'm like, this guy kept calling her Motor Mouth, kept calling Born Again Motor Mouth, and I was like, dude, I have such a hard time not jumping in and being like, excuse me, can you not be misogynistic to my guest? Like, what is wrong with you? So I think it's even more frustrating to me when it's our guest. I just don't, I do not like, I do not enjoy. I'm not a fan. I think transphobe callers showing more of an interest in talking to the cishet male hosts kind of shows their true fears, which, in my opinion and experience, is usually how they think other cishet men will feel about their interaction with trans people. I guess. Yeah, they're like, let me seek approval from Daddy Forrest. I don't really get it. Dr. Ben is an amazing foil. I love Ben's presence, and like, he gets spicy and he's like, no, I'm an expert on this, and like, because he passes as male, people don't talk over him in that way. It's awesome. Born Again Atheist has some thick AF skin. She was like Teflon to the bullshit sticking. Yes. I think she was really fun. She had really fun energy. I think, and I don't know if this is the case, I think Sydney Jr. and Born Again, Boma, are TikTok creators primarily. And I think TikTok debate does lean more into the shitpost aspect of it all. Like the Lamau, you just said something stupid. And I don't know that that's exactly right for what we would want from like permanent hosts, especially because Jimmy wants to take this in a direction where we are presenting ourselves more professionally. Like, I gotta ask if this applies to me and my temperature control problems, but like, I wear tank tops on stream. He was like, we need to have sleeves. And he was kind of saying that to rib John, because John wears like cutoff t-shirts. But yeah, so he wants us to have a more professional image to maybe become like, I don't know if saying the left version of the Daily Wire makes sense, but we want to have like a professional appearance, even if we are getting spicy with the callers. So yeah, I don't know, like a bit of professionalism. So I don't know if creators who are primarily on TikTok fit into that vision. Obviously, I found it very funny and amusing. I just don't know if that fits into like the project that we're trying to build. No shot for me then. I hate sleeves. Yeah. Well, I guess like women can wear like blouses that have no sleeve. Like there are shirts that are made for that. So maybe it doesn't apply. I think it may have just been like, John, your cutoffs, you can't wear cutoffs. I saw that clip with the old guy who called y'all abominations, but didn't realize until like halfway through the call that Dr. Ben is trans, truly. Coffee was delicious. Tea chaser. Yes. I think I told you guys already, but we bought some, well, I bought for Christmas some coffee grounds from Good Dot Store, and like 100% of the profits go to fighting tuberculosis. And they're actually, I haven't tried it. Well, I tasted the coffee, but I haven't like had a full cup because I don't do coffee anymore, but it smells so good. Have you tried linen shirts? Yeah, I'm in the middle of changing my, I'm in the middle of changing my clothes out with like only breathable fabrics, but it still gets fucking hot in here during the summer. When you say it that way, who wouldn't want approval from Daddy Forrest? Exactly. I never wore anything other than t-shirts until I started transitioning. Then I discovered the tank top and I've worn nothing else since. It's so comfortable. Like, okay, so first of all, merch plug. Did you know that I have merch? I think that these tank tops are like $25 or something, but this is the men's sizing one. It's a little bit low in the sides, so. But the women's one is like fully like cut pretty close in here, so it's strictly a workout shirt, but this one is a more comfy, more something you could wear any day of the week. At the link in the description. I'm near Chicago half the year. Sleeves aren't an option. Yeah, I really am not looking forward to how fucking hot it's going to be. I might end up having to do things like I might have to like seal up my windows or something during the summer because it's like the AC. There's an AC in this room and it's so loud, at like so loud. And so I hate having it on, and I don't like being in here when it's on. I genuinely think that my tinnitus is worse now than it was before the past summer because I think it was just damaging my hearing. To be fair, now I have these. Merry Christmas from my partner. I have noise-canceling headphones now, and I wear them all the time. It's so quiet in here. I'm like, yes, I can think, I can function, everything's fine. And then I can also listen to music, which is convenient. But I think more than anything, I just think that it's nice and quiet in here. So I live in these now. And maybe I'll be able to get away with not having... Or get away with having the AC on all fucking summer next summer. Like, well... I feel like a lot of callers forget that Ben is a doctor. Yeah. I don't have any expertise, so it's double, triple easy to ignore me. I'm a femme. I don't have any particular expertise, like, except for just, like, being trans and being involved in the community for a long-ass time. I am thinking of, like, taking some college classes, though. I don't really know what exactly that would entail. I don't know, just maybe a fucking class on how to use Adobe Illustrator. You know, maybe that kind of thing. Just like something I can use, or I don't know if I want... it's probably a good idea to continue making plans for what I might do in the future. Like, am I going to continue producing for the line forever? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't have a plan for that, but like, do I want to do something else in communications? Or start slowly acquiring an entirely new skill so that I can do something completely else? Like, I don't know. It's hard not to think about doing more school when you are talking to Forrest all the time, who's just, he's like constantly in school. If you want to go further, I had to order gun range headphones for work in the office to stop hearing others yap in Teams calls. I actually have my hearing protection that I use for the gun range, but I can't wear it at home for long periods of time because I can hear my blood pumping in my veins if I wear them for extended periods of time. Like, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but if you're wearing them, first of all, I have to wear them in a certain way so that they don't create too much suction on my eardrums. But like, after a period of time wearing them, I'm like, what is that rhythmic whooshing sound in my ears? And then I was like, oh, that's my blood. And I was like, I cannot continue to wear these. That's uncomfortable. Hopefully this doesn't lead to impacted earwax. I already wear earbuds all the time. They're just corded. These are my earphones that I wear on my computer all the time. And anytime I was using headphones on my phone, I would also use these. Yeah, they don't go deep into your ear the way that earplugs do. Earplugs, you're literally supposed to pull your ear canal straighter so that you can put it deeper in there. So I can understand how that led to impact. You have more expertise than the callers with my pastor said y'all are of the devil and Ben Shabibo said you're of the devil. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. Last night, when Born Again Atheist and John Gleason were talking to our callers about biblical shit, one of the guys kept being like, you're just inserting that. Like, where does it say in the Bible that she's going to be a sex slave? Like, okay, well, here's what it says in the Bible. Here's what it says is that the women who are captives, I don't remember where it was. They had gone into some city and they had killed all of the men and the older people, and they took the boys as slaves and they kept the young women who were virgins, and then the spoils were divvied out amongst the soldiers, meaning that the girls were given to them to marry as wives. And there are parts of the Bible that explicitly tell you how you can treat a captive who you decide to make your wife. And he kept being like, you keep adding in sex slave, you keep just adding that part. And it's like, this is the problem, is that you aren't Bible literate, and John and BAA are. Like, the fact that you don't understand that the women who were being killed were all of the married women. So like, they didn't have any unmarried women. Because like any women who had sex, any woman who had known a man was killed. So like all of the married women, and married women in that culture includes people as young as 13. And for him to continue to be like, you're just adding this in there. It's like, no, we're displaying like a contextual understanding of what actually was occurring. Like, what does it mean? What age is a person betrothed? Like, is that person ever asked for their permission? Do you think any of these, first of all, it doesn't need, like, obviously a 12-year-old can't give permission to be married permanently, but like, did they even bother to ask? No, they didn't. They just did it. And so therefore, all of the implications about sexual violence in the Bible, that it's like, you don't have to say so-and-so took her by force and without her permission. Just the simple fact that women are property in this dynamic, or treated as property, like, oh my God, it was very frustrating to listen to. Numbers 31 says, you keep them for yourselves. Yeah. It's so funny to see Ben Shapiro's career taking a nosedive. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. I actually didn't. Has he been?
Trinket has donated $5. Quick dono while I still have spare money.
Thank you. Please do not donate money to me if you are struggling. I've like my job with the line and everything, and I have patrons who commit a certain amount every month, and like, I'm doing okay. Like, if I needed to save up an amount of money next year for a big thing, I probably could. This year is 2026. If I needed to, like, if I had an emergency this year, I'd probably be able to cover it. And I know most people are not in that situation, so don't donate to me if you don't think you could handle an emergency. Anyway, but thank you so much. That's really generous. Trinket. Shout out to Trinket. But yeah, what happened to Ben Shapiro's career? I didn't hear. Is he like actually getting fewer views, or did he get let go by the Daily Wire, or what's the tea? Excuse me. Come back, chat. I miss you. The genocide of the Midianites, because God said that they were Nephilim, which is apparently good enough because they start from magic, is real. Yeah. It's like trying to convince people that God does bad things in the Bible is so difficult. But, you know, there's a reason why I don't fucking argue this stuff. It's like, I just find it really frustrating. Shapiro is losing a lot of views and subscribers, mostly to Candace Owens, which is not really an improvement, but small victories. Interesting. I had heard that there was like beef with Candace Owens, but I don't know the details. I think Shapiro co-owns the Daily Wire. He could still potentially get like squeezed out, I think. So sometime I'll eventually nab a hoodie or tank. I really like the Tranarchy design. You rock. Yes. Just listen, I like the hoodie. The hoodie is warm and cozy. There are times of the year, sometimes several weeks in a row, where I just like, I live in that hoodie every day. It's pretty awesome, actually. Ben is fighting with Candace and that white supremacist guy. I forgot his name. Well, there's so many of them. It's easy. And they look the same. So what's happening is Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes are on the rise. They both hate Ben Shapiro because he's Jewish and pro-Israel, in that order. Fun. That's fun. On the one hand, I don't want to argue from an ad hominem or whataboutism standpoint. On the other hand, why shouldn't the first question, the litmus test, the barrier to entry for MAGAs to polite conversation with the rest of society be, why did you vote for a pedophile and are you sorry? We do end up bringing that up not infrequently. It's just usually not a first thing we go to. Or I don't know, maybe like, I mean, Jimmy usually is like, how old are you? It's like part of the information he collects. The fact that Nick Fuentes is becoming more popular is terrifying. Yeah, I agree. I agree. This is part of why we are trying to expand this year. Like, we want to do more in politics. We want to do. Jimmy's current goal is to start doing the Calling It Now, the political show explicitly. He wants to start doing that 7 days a week if possible, which is going to be hard to do for a little bit here, but soon. It's going to be like, 5-7 days a week, and doing more shows and bringing on more hosts, and because we do want to be counteracting these narratives. Like, we do want to be offering people alternative modes of thought, and we want to challenge TPUSA. We already support Secular Student Alliance with our fundraisers every year, and part of the reason for that is because there needs to be a challenge on college campuses to TPUSA. 7 days a week is a heavy workload. Well, the point is that we would hire more people. So right now there are 3 producers, and we would certainly increase the number of producers to cover that. And we're trying to bring on more hosts. We're trying out lots of different guests to see which guests are people that we would be willing to offer longer term, um, technically a contract with, but there's no formal contract. Jimmy spent like 20 minutes arguing with a 14-year-old not that long ago, so he's being more careful about age following that. Yeah, I don't want to argue with a 14-year-old. That sounds like a nightmare. All of Fuentes' followers hate Ben because he's Jewish. Yeah, the anti-Semitism is off the charts here. I'm here in Texas if y'all need any more cunty trans debaters for that. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we haven't had you on one of the specifically political shows. But I don't know. It's like that's Jimmy's show, so it's more up to him to choose the guests on that. I'm trying to come up with something witty for the dono, but I'm utterly failing. Witty dono. I hate when that happens, when I'm like, I really want to be funny right now, but I can't think of how to be funny. I wouldn't want to argue with a 14-year-old myself for a multitude of reasons. Yeah. I feel like if I had a kid and they grow up and they become a teenager, and like I understand what it's like to be a teenager, I remember it. Your brain doesn't work right. You just want to like argue sometimes. Like sometimes you just feel bad for no reason. I'm like, first of all, I want to have a good enough relationship with my kid by then that if they're feeling off, they can be like, I'm feeling off. I'll come back to this later, you know? Thank you.
Inbox has donated $20. I'm optimistic for 2026.
Yes. I guess I hope that I would have a relationship with my kid that would be more like, we can talk this out. You know, we're gonna, whatever the issue is, you know, if you think I did something wrong, let's talk about it. If you think that you would be better supported some other way, you know, there's a mixture, I feel, between the authority of a parent where you're like, you have to do this, you know, or you have to do either this or this, but you have to do one of the two of them, right? Like, I can't just let you do nothing all weekend and sleep for 16 hours a day and like you're going to become depressed. And if you are already depressed and that's why you're doing that behavior, then we need to solve that problem, right? Like you can't just let them do whatever. But if they're like, I'm just, you know, oh, Zach broke up with me, I just, you know, I'd be like, oh, sweetie, well, you know, sleep in a little bit today and then come out in the afternoon and we'll do something or whatever, you know, like there's gotta be flexibility here. We add this. Thank you so much, in a box, for the donation. That brings us up to $30. $30, which means we have $70 more before we can open the treasure chest. Right over here. Just off camera. Well, it's like on camera, but it's behind the chat, so it's a little bit hidden. Okay, come back to me. Chat. Fuzzy Logic. I think it was on Javon's stream with Dr. Blitz the other day. They had a caller denying God is evil because God is good, so everything he does is good. They asked, what if God came to you and instructed you to go through the city grinding up babies to eat? Would you? He said, I hope I have the fortitude to follow God's command. Yeah, that's fucking insane. That's terrible. That's terrible and terrifying, actually. That's bad. I hate it, and I hate it, and I hate it. If you guys ever need a screener to catch out the trolls, you are welcome. If you want to express interest, to reach out to contact@qanaline.com. That's the email. That's public. So if you are interested in potentially being a screener, I don't know if we need anyone right now, but obviously the more shows we get, the more we're going to need people. It's a meme on Justin DZ's channel that a caller would eat the baby paste. Divine command theory is terrible. Yeah, well, gross. What's up, Bloody Hatter? Welcome in. I believe Shapiro is now in the leopard eating face phase of his career. Lamau. That's pretty funny. I have no idea how to engage with people who support Trump still, let alone most conservatives anyway. I can avoid them mostly, thankfully. Real spoiled here in Minneapolis with our abundance of trans joy and community. My condolences to all who live in Texas. I've made friends with so many transplants from Texas. We have been the place to flee to. Yeah, Minnesota is a great place to go to because it's still relatively inexpensive. Like, as it's like in the Midwest. So you're not getting that coastal. It's definitely like not cheap to live, in Minneapolis, St. Paul. But overall, I understand why lots of people are going to Minnesota. It's closer than the coast for a lot of people. So you can more easily travel back home for holidays if necessary. And yeah, definitely just like less expensive. Do you know about another Lux named Luxaria? I've heard of Luxaria before. It would be fun to do a Lux combo. Yeah, I could see that being fun. This is the thing. I do need to be better about actually watching other trans creators and interacting with them so that there is a reason to bring people on. Like, so that I can be one of the ones going, hey, let's do a cause I wanna. We are looking at adding another person to Takis. So I think at that point, we're going to be like full up for Takis. We probably don't want to have more than like 4 active hosts for Takis at any given time, just because some of us do rely on the money. So it's always good to be open for guest spots though. Okay, Luxaria talks about plastic surgery, reality TV type stuff. Science is in the mix there. Again, it's always like, is this person a debater? Has this person ever done debate? Would they be any good at it? I have heard of Dead Domain, yes. I've actually been on 1 or 2 of their charity streams. Yeah, I've spoken to Dead Domain. They're cool. I would love to be in Minnesota because of the winters. The winters in Minnesota are crazy. It's like pretty intense. I don't know if I would want to. I didn't want to live there. I had the option. I could have moved to Minnesota if I felt like it, and we moved to Oregon instead. Lux versus Lux. Wow. Oregon is pretty cool. It's true. It's so beautiful. God, I would love to do a fire. This is like the time of year. It sucks because obviously like you want to do a campfire and s'mores when it's camping weather, which is like when it's dry, but it's hot. And dry, and that's fire problem during the dry season. And it's the wet season right now, which means it's cold, but I just want to do a fire so badly. I need to go find somewhere where there's like day camping so that I can just go and have a bonfire for like 3 hours. You want to get compensated for your labor? True. I know. Cringe. So how about that thing yesterday? You know, that thing that sounds like that other thing back in the 30s? It might have been Poland. I don't remember. Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, it's been an hour and a half of just shooting the shit about whatever. There's 70 people in here. Do you guys want to talk about Venezuela? Because I don't. It was a surprise, I gotta say. there were other people who were not surprised. I want a fire pit for that reason. Well, even so, you have to be careful of, there are still rules even on private property during fire season in places like Oregon. So even if I owned a fire pit, that does not mean that I can have a fire in the summertime. Like, that's not necessarily the case. And yeah, we talked earlier about why do so many transphobic people call shows on the line when cis het men are hosting rather than Takis. Jimmy says it doesn't make a difference, and I don't really know what he has to gauge that off of. But like, he says that it's not because the show is so early in the day. I feel like that's fake news. We start the show at 2 p.m. Central Time. Like, everybody's still at work. So anyway, but yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know. I think that people respect the cishet men more, and they just don't give a shit about listening to trans people talk about our shit. Like, that's pretty much it. Anyway, the Venezuela thing. I want to and really don't want to talk about Venezuela. I don't have a lot else to say aside from like, damn, that's crazy. Lincoln City. Okay. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember where Lincoln City is. Day camping at Devil's Lake. Okay, cool. I don't necessarily want to travel all the way out to the beach to have a fire, but maybe. Later, mama. Goodbye. Also, transphobes call Javon's line during the workday. That's very funny. Oh, no. Yeah. I would love to do a show with Javon. I'm going to ask him probably, I don't know if this month I'm going to have the availability, because I actually have a lot of shit that I would love to accomplish this month. So I don't want to have like too few days off, but I'm thinking about asking Javon to do a show with me sometime soon. So I know that like Hassan Piker specifically predicted that the U.S. would not invade Venezuela during Trump's presidency. I think he made that assertion before, or maybe right when Trump got installed. I don't know, but it was a prediction that he made. So therefore, the idea of the United States invading Venezuela has been entertained longer than I realized. Like, I did not know that I will request you in comments. More like I'm going to have him on the line with me, just like on a Cause I Want Us Some Friday. But I was not even aware that the Venezuela thing was something that people were thinking about. And like, ooh, is he going to do it? Is he going to invade Venezuela? Because I don't pay attention anymore to this kind of stuff. I would rather watch movies and talk about them through a political lens rather than actually pay attention to what's going on in politics. I need to get so many things about my personal life figured out before I can pay attention to this. So people who are more oriented around politics and especially foreign policy have been talking about this and had this prediction. So they probably don't find it very surprising. I am also aware that, oh my God, how do I phrase this? Let me scrap that thought. I know that the Epstein thing, I think that the attack on Venezuela was coincidentally and for no particular reason. Wasn't it the same day that there was about to be some accountability from the Department of Justice where the Congress was like, hey, you need to explain why the Epstein files you gave us were so heavily redacted? And so this is, some people are speculating, it's an attempt to get the Epstein files out of the news, put Venezuela in the news, just commit a little war crime. I don't actually know if it's a war crime, but I do know that it was basically an act of aggression that Congress didn't sign off on. So at least illegal in terms of a United States policy. As a former PMC who has been to Caracas, the fact that we were able to extract, I don't know how that's pronounced, The fact that we were able to extract Maduro from that city, we had insider help, or at least insiders who looked the other way a lot. Sure. I mean, doesn't the United States like maintain CIA presence in lots of Central American countries? Like, I thought that that was just normal. I mean, obviously it's horrendous, but you know what I mean. I thought that the imperialism was just well understood to be happening constantly. Did you hear that there was a Poly market account created that only bet on Venezuela being overthrown by Trump, and they turned $30,000 into $400,000. Jesus Christ. From a more political community, we were surprised but not shocked, if this makes sense. America has a rich history of sowing dissent in South America and Venezuela specifically. Never this cavalier, though. Yeah. Like, the thing that we're doing is not out of the ordinary. It's just how brazen it is that's out of the ordinary. Actually, possibly legal under some post 9/11 policy. Well, great. That sounds fucking great. The joke I saw that sums up Venezuela is 2026 was still young enough for Trump to fuck it. True. True, true, true. It's more likely that we paid off members of the Venezuelan military. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. The saber rattling and acts of war toward Venezuela have been building for months. I just wasn't expecting them to actually go in and capture Maduro. Thought it would be a little more hot than that, to be honest. Well, we can't destroy the region if we want to take their oil. Duh. Doy. News reports say that they shot their way through the security unit guarding Maduro, most if not all killed. Also, during the presser, Trump hinted that a cyber attack took out the power. Okay. Yeah, we've talked about that before as well, that like hacking is actually a huge infrastructural danger because they could cripple our water infrastructure, for example, by hacking the computer systems that regulate the water system. Like, Jesus Christ, we're so fucked. This is not the worst timeline, but it certainly is the dumbest. It's pretty fucking dumb. Trump has been blatantly going on about how he will be pilfering Venezuela's oil. It makes me sick. This is blatant theft while Congress sits aside and lets Trump get away with literal murder. Right. I mean, he's been like just actually murdering people for a while, right? Like all of these like boats in the Gulf, like that is, it's just, they're just killing citizens. Like that's just murder, right? Like, are you saying Maduro? They've brought Maduro here. Okay, they brought Maduro here to charge him with crimes, which, like, I don't know what judge will go along with that, given how bad they've been at prosecuting crimes. Fucking true. I did see that there was a claim that, like, well, you know, this isn't an act of war or anything. This is just carrying out an arrest warrant. Like, you had Bibi at Mar-a-Lago. I'm sorry. That man has, like, what, like 10 different charges that he's facing internationally? Like, what the fuck? Without a formal declaration of war, attacking another country is a non-war crime. So I'm like trying to not hammer on like war crime, war crime, war crime because I don't know what the definition of that is. I know what some war crimes are. Like I know that if you disguise yourself as the enemy in order to gain advantage, that's a war crime. I also know that if you fly a white flag of surrender in order to ambush and trick your enemy, that is also a war crime because Sokka did one of those, if not both of those things during the Avatar The Last Airbender series. So that's the only reason why I know that. Can the Brits execute an arrest warrant on Trump now because it feels like that's where we're headed? I do think I agree with the chatter earlier who said that they doubted that Trump was going to see any consequences for this. Like, I just don't think, I just think that he's going to keep doing fucked up shit until he dies. Like, you know, and I'm not saying until somebody assassinates him. I think that he's just going to die of medical problems. Yeah, my war crime knowledge being based on Avatar, exactly. So yeah, I don't think that he's gonna get any kind of comeuppance or like I don't really think that they're gonna impeach him. There are so many things that have already happened that he should have been impeached for. Everybody's like, certainly this will be the thing. Certainly someone will grow a conscience now. It's like, no, I don't think it's gonna. It just isn't going to happen. Like we're just stuck with this until maybe we have another election. Like this is part of why I have not been bothering to stay abreast of information is because like none of this really affects my life right now. Just like, okay, ICE and the National Guard being deployed to Portland, that affects my life. So I did learn recently that apparently Trump is pulling back on the National Guard issue in Portland and Chicago. He did intimate that he might send in more aggressive forces at a later time, but for the time being, the courts have successfully gotten him to back the fuck off, which means that there maybe is still some level of checks and balances here. But yeah, man, I'm just like, none of this affects me. I'm just like, I can't think about it. So mostly I don't. I'm sorry if anybody's offended by that, my relative privilege in like ignoring the politics at hand right now. But hey, there's 74 people here. If you didn't know, you can hit the like button. That's pretty great. Check your notification settings and everything. Get some merch. You know, if you want a cool Luxander Anarchy merch shirt, this is like a $25 tank top on my merch store. If you have an extra $5, you can throw $5 a Patreon or something. You know, I have to plug every once in a while. Is there something going on that I do actually want to plug right now? Do I have anything fun and exciting coming up that's like it matters? I'm trying to post more on my Patreon, so even if you only put $1 a month over there, like you can see access to my post talking about my New Year's resolution. I went into more detail about that there. I talked about it a little bit earlier here, but more detail, and like I'm gonna try to share more of my little like non-work projects over there. So, you know, check it out or don't. I'm not going to be mad. And if you want to open the treasure chest today, there's a treasure chest over there. It's got something in it, and we only need $70 more of donations today to get it open. So if you want to see what's in there, I mean, you don't have to. That's all I'm saying. Like, there's a mystery, and you can help solve it by supporting me and help me. So here's the thing. I might have to start a GoFundMe this year because I do not know if we will qualify for any financial aid with my younger sibling being in college. Because I'm like, listen, you really should strike while the iron is hot. Take the opportunity that you have while you have it and do a year or at least a semester of college and see if that'll help you. Because they have their GED now, and because people with GEDs make less money, and because right now with the GED, all they're going to be able to do is go get a shitty job at Starbucks or something. Obviously, we don't, it's not Starbucks. I mean, I'm just using Starbucks as a stand-in. So I'm like, you should try to take the opportunity to like take some college classes, maybe explore some things you want to do. You could get a technical certification, whatever. So I'm kind of like, let's just do that now while you can. And that's not cheap. So if we do not qualify for enough financial aid, or if they can't get enough grants and scholarships, I might have to do a GoFundMe, because I kind of planned for most of my extra money this year to go toward me having healthcare. So if you want to help me afford my fucking health insurance premiums, luxander.net/donate. Thank you. War crime or not, the U.S. doesn't have any jurisdiction in Venezuela, so a violation of international law at minimum. Truly, yes, that makes sense to me. Wow, hacking at the government level is getting crazy. I started going back to school for cybersecurity, and I'm already getting offers from the UN and the Pentagon on internships. Wow, I guess maybe they're hurting for people. That's crazy. Yeah, so when it comes to Trump likely passing because he's fucking old and his health is terrible, I do think that that would probably help prevent, I don't know, like, okay, so my view is that Trump being the figurehead of the movement will cause a like a lot of fracturing. Like, I don't know how much political sway JD Vance has, and I don't know how cohesive the plan is without the figurehead. Like, it seems to me that there would be a power vacuum and that people would start snipping at each other and trying to gain advantage over one another. So I do feel like there would be a fracturing of their movement. But maybe that's me being optimistic. Like, do people not agree Vance is way worse than Trump? Sure, I think that he is a terrible person, but I don't know if that means that he is going to have the backing and the sway. Like, I don't know if President Couchfucker is going to raise morale for the right. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I'm saying. Wizard Needs Food says Venezuela stuff is capital I important, but I'm just excited to hear the Fire and Ash thoughts eventually. Shrug. Political/trans movie critic is valuable too. My plan is to have that out on Tuesday. I'm just gonna have a conversation about one aspect of it, so I don't even know if it would be a very long video. I'm not gonna do a full movie review. There's just one part of it's all three movies actually that have this that really, really, really rubs me the wrong way, even though I love the movies. I don't even know why I love the movies, but I do. I enjoy them very much. And I'm still really mad about one particular aspect of them. So I'm planning to hopefully just record that video, get it out of my system, talk about it tomorrow, get it edited, bop, bop, bop up on Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that on my second channel, Musing Moss. I think they're not just distracting from the Epstein files, it's also the ACA coverage expiring, and a lot of people with disability assistance and benefits got their accounts switched to being able-bodied on the first. Holy fuck. Does your sibling like cooking? Nope. I make them cook twice a week and they don't seem to enjoy it at all. But I'm not, it's like you have to cook twice a week. Like, you need to have this skill, but they don't seem to care for it in terms of they don't seem to want to try new recipes. They don't really seem to be interested in experimenting with it. I think they just have a lot of anxiety about doing things perfectly. And so cooking can be quite unpredictable in that way. They take a very long time to cook and to get a finished product. And yeah, I don't know. I really wish that they enjoyed it because I love cooking. Yes, trying college is a great idea, even if you don't stick with it. Exactly. That's what I feel, for sure. No harm and no shame in going to community college. Start with one class and then go from there. Yeah. So some of the grants and scholarships that we've looked at only apply to full-time students. So we are trying them on one semester of full-time student level. So have they seen Ratatouille? I don't know. Vance has Teal and Musk behind him. He doesn't need the charisma like Trump did. Only Vance is in power, or once Vance is in power, I think the oligarchs take the gloves off. Maybe. I'm open to say, like, I don't know what's gonna happen. These are my thoughts and feelings. Like, I don't feel like Vance is gonna have the same kind of cohesive team behind him, but Trump is already just being propped up by people nearby him. Like, we're not fully Weekend at Bernie, but we're close enough that I could see. Oh my god, did I smear this under my eye? Have I? No, it's not as bad as I thought it was. For a second there, I was like, what the fuck? I'm saving thousands on community college. My last semester was $1,200, and my coworker who was at State University spent $5,000. Yeah. So it's definitely going to be less expensive than going to like a for real college to do a community college thing, right? And I don't have anything against community colleges. Do I think it's as high of a quality education? Like, maybe not, but also is like, if you're just doing your prerequisites, I don't see why it would make a difference. Like, the English class that you take to get the fucking English out of the way, I don't know that that really matters if you're not going to be a writer to take it at the big university, you know? Oh, yarn. I cook like 2, maybe 3 meals, but I do them really well. Maybe figure out what their favorite food is and have them perfect that. Yeah. So I think they have ARFID or some other kind of food sensitivities. Like, I don't know that there is any dinner that they would be like, this is great. I think that they would rather just eat fucking chicken nuggets all the time. And I did have them fry chicken one time. That was that was early on, and before I realized how much that was throwing them into the deep end to like fry chicken. We don't do a deep fryer, we just do a shallow fry in the cast iron pan. But they're definitely like a chicken nuggets autistic person, and so I don't know that they're ever gonna like enjoy food in the same way that I do either. So I do think that that is frustrating. I bounced off college 3 times when I was younger. I want to go back someday, but being trans in the closet and having no financial support makes it hard. Yeah, I can understand that. Like, part of the reason why I'm motivating them to do it right now is that I think that there was a scholarship available that was like for recent graduates or like people who recently got their GED. So I was like, look, don't take a break. Just do it now, get it done, because you know, you'll get, there's like benefits of being young. There are programs that I don't have access to. I was looking at environmental programs because I was interested in potentially doing a hard pivot earlier this year before I got my production job with The Line. I was like, I really want to just pivot into like environmental science of some kind. I don't know what specifically, but I want to pivot hard. And wow, no, I was in the middle of a sentence. Oh, there is like an environmental program where you can volunteer and potentially have that count toward your credit hours for certain things in your college program, but you have to be a recent graduate or a teenager in order to get it. So I was like, listen, whatever you want to do, the best time to figure it out is now. So take some classes, see what you like. Even if you just get like a general degree, it's probably going to be better than nothing. Yeah, honestly, with the food situation with my younger sibling, I'm just gonna try to get them a nutritionist. Like, which I'm so okay. So I'm actually really annoyed with the whole medical situation. I signed up for my health insurance on like December 9th. They would not let me pay my premium online. So you have to pay your first premium in order to secure the insurance to actually have it. They ended up finally, after like several weeks, they sent me a letter that was like, here's the information for you to either send us a check or you can now go online with this special little number to go pay your premium. So I've paid my $560 for coverage that was supposed to start on January 1st. And I do not have my insurance card yet. And I'm pissed. Like, I'm very, very, very mad. I want to get fucking vaccinated. Like, it's so irritating. If I had that card in my hand right now, I could probably just go to CVS and be like, give me the fucking vaccine. But nothing. Additionally, I tried to sign up my younger sibling on the insurance. And for some reason, the healthcare marketplace was like, well, they could qualify for Medicaid, even though our household income is obviously too fucking high. And so, like, I just have to wait to hear from Medicaid now. I've had zero communication from Medicaid since the healthcare.gov allegedly sent the information over. So I'm just like, we're both supposed to have insurance coverage that have started January 1st, but because this bullshit dragging their feet, I'm like, this does not bode well for me trying to get medical care later. I do not feel good about the bureaucratic process. Like, I'm trying to be understanding for the fact that we've just had several holidays right in a row, but y'all should have the infrastructure. Can you get the insurance ID online? How? They gave me a login specifically to the thing that pays for it, but I don't have a login. I tried to use that same information to log into the regular website and it didn't work. So we're angry. They do the delay intentionally, I'm sure, because it's like, if you know, like, obviously we all know that the holidays are time where people are taking off work, but we also know that that is when the signups happen. So, like, guess what? You need to hire more temps. You need to hire more paper pushers to process all these fucking applications. Like, I want to have health insurance. I'm so tired of this shit. So yeah, I'm really frustrated. I want to experiment with scoopable salads. I wish that making a salad was not so much effort. You make a salad, like, you don't want to get bagged salad or in a container like that because they're so much more likely to have gross stuff growing on it. But then if you just get romaine lettuce, now I got to chop it up or rip it up and make a, like, ugh. Annoying. Potato salad, yeah, true. YouTube chat is bumping today. I don't know if you guys know, but this is the website chat from my website, luxandra.net. If you want to come over here, you can, like, set your pronouns on there. You can also donate directly to me on here. It's better than super chatting because super chats take like 30 to 40% of your money. My insurance just got canceled. Got canceled because of holidays and stuff. I didn't get any notifications. Holy shit. This is also when a lot of health emergencies happen. They put off everything to do with health insurance, hoping that most issues correct themselves. Do you mean like they want people to die during the first week of the year? Is that the goal? I definitely don't have a fridge full of prepackaged salads right now. Listen, it's up to, listen, whatever. The thing is that if there is some small amount of bacteria on the salad when they put it in there, then you seal it in a container, and it's just a breeding ground for the bacteria to grow more and more and more. So it's just a higher risk to eat those salads. And in this day and age where food safety standards are dropping, I am just trying to be careful about my choices. Because I like the last thing I need is to get severe illness from E. coli or something. Oh, did someone say earlier that Maduro is allegedly being held in the same prison as Luigi Mangione? That's pretty funny. This is also why they deny most procedures at least a couple times before approving them. Yeah, I really, really hope that it's not going to be a fight and a struggle, but also I'm prepared to be a huge bitch if necessary. It's Listeria and E. coli being more common in pre-prepared food. Yeah. And again, like, disabled people need that stuff. Like, busy moms, whatever. I'm not shaming anybody else. But I'm just, taking my risks or not, Oh my god. Shakespeare says one of my best friends almost died from a grocery store salad. They lost around 10 pounds in 1 week. Definitely gotta wash your greens. Ugh, yikes. I would really love to get one of those, like, push, 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 push salad spinners. That would make it easier. Aren't the bags packed in nitrogen for longer? So I think the main issue, Fuzzy Logic, is that the salads in the containers, the pre-made salads, those say, like, ready to eat. So people don't rinse them. But the ones on the shelf, people rinse. And they tell you you should rinse. But it's, like, I think the problem is with ready-to-make salads. And, like, I don't know what the logic is per se. I just know that it's a fact that prepackaged salads make people sick regularly in my country. Salad spinners are lifesavers. Personally, I prefer the crank mechanism ones, but either way, they are great. Like, could I, if I got home with a head of romaine lettuce, could I just chop that up and rinse it all off and then put it in a salad spinner and then put it back in my fridge and eat it over the next couple of days? Because being able to batch it, that might make my life easier. Eugene, Oregon is having the Medicaid changing from Pacific Source to Trillium. I wonder if that's relevant where I live. There will be a few months where Trillium will support what we had, but Goddess only knows. Being trans and having medical sucks right now. Yeah, no fucking kidding. Anybody know of any good octopus alternatives? I love cucumber octopus salad, but not really hot on eating sentient aquatic friends. Ooh, that's an interesting question. Chat, do we have any alternatives to, like, what's a vegan or just not sentient, what's an alternative to eating octopus? Okay, everybody seems to think, like, okay, yes, I can chop up all my lettuce and make myself a pre-made salad, spin it up, rinse it, rinse it, spin it up, and then put it in another container and then put it in my fridge. Okay, great. Eat squid instead, they're dummies. Lamau. I would love to try oysters. Like, all these kind of shellfish and stuff, I would love to try them. I wish I knew. I hate how delicious and sentient octopus are. Yeah. That's funny. I discovered only a few days before my job expired that OHSU was divesting from Regents. I would have lost my medical anyways. Fucking what? Pre-chopping the lettuce might make it go bad quicker though. Okay, well it either like goes bad, like either way it's going bad in my fridge because it's not chopped up, or it's going bad in my fridge because it's chopped up, but at least that way I'll more easily be able to eat it. Like I think that I have a head of lettuce right now in my fridge that I need to check on the quality of because it probably needs to be thrown away. Alligator tail is a great sub for octopus, apparently. Something I learned about recently is super cubes. I like soup, like soup. Basically, huge ice cube trays that you put soup, stew, chili in and freeze it, and then you can mix and match bricks of mains and sides. That's awesome. I don't have a big enough freezer for that shit, but that's awesome. I would love to have a deep freeze or something for that purpose. Shakespeare says, then again, I'm still up 100% for trying consensually sourced long pig blood sausage. Just a little cannibalism as a treat. Totally vegan, even, technically. If it's consensual, I guess that makes it vegan. We're on food now. We're doing the food thing. How dare. Byron says, I hadn't really considered it before, but having had both, I could see how alligator tail could sub for octopus. Yes. Food safety standards. Loving the eyeliner today. Thank you. It's not loving me back, but it looks fine to you because you're far away. Let's see, what else have we got going on in the near future? What are some predictions? Do y'all have any predictions for 2026? Or like things you hope will happen, but like even if it's far-fetched, like what's, I don't know, like I just want to know, like what does everybody feel for 2026? I feel like it might be one of the more difficult years of my life. It's like definitely going to require a lot of work from me, but I'm also feeling better about the idea of showing up for that work. So that's kind of just my personal view of what my year is going to be like. 2026 year of the Linux desktop, truly. I don't want to switch to Windows 11 because Windows 11 has so much fucking AI spying on you bullshit all the time. So I've not made the commitment to switch to Linux, but I might end up having to. I don't know. Or I don't want to. All of my programs work with Windows. We're predicting President J.D. Vance. Not something I hope for, but something I expect. What's up, Quantum Chaos? Predicting the start of the Second Great Depression. SCOTUS finally having to rule on the separation of church and state and not shadow docket any of this shit, considering Gorsuch and Barrett have already broke from Trump on it. Maybe. Gonna try to get out of debt in 2026. Yes. We love it. Moving to BC for university. Hell yes. My FFS consult in July. Hey, that's exciting. I'm worried something will cause me to lose my medical. I've been waiting on a list for over 2 years for this. Anything you know to speak to that? I mean, nothing specific. It obviously like depends on your private insurance and where you live and stuff, and insurance in general is going to try to resist you on all of that shit. So I don't think that, by and large, I think that adults, so long as you can afford it, will still be able to get care. Whether that will be covered or, there's also a question of if the US government says that, like, hey, any hospital can't receive funding if they're giving youth trans health care. So that could mean that lots of hospitals decide to stop taking Medicaid so that they can continue to provide that care. Or they might stop treating trans youth so that they can continue to accept Medicaid. If you're in Oregon, then I don't think you're going to have any changes because we have a constitutional protection for gender affirming care. So my guess is that it's going to be fine here, but like, I've been wrong before. I'm hoping to get to travel outside of the States for the first time, only to Canada, but at least that's something. Hey, that's fun. Oregon hospitals are going to be between a rock and a hard place, between competing state and federal pressure. Yes, it's definitely going to be a rough ride. Ooh, I'm actually going to help some people this year. Not a ton and not that much, but it is going to happen. Not a resolution, just something that will happen. I figured out my own way out of capitalism, and it has given me a very special mission. A wonderfully God-free and evolutionary dependent purpose made for me by me. Yes. Basically, I think there's going to be a lot of ongoing litigation, but that doesn't mean that they're going to stop providing the care. There's going to be injunctions and like all kinds of shit. So there's going to be class action lawsuit potentially. Excuse me. "2026 queer supremacy by way of manipulating votes via our cross-nation massive polycule. The hidden polyvote will take over the government from the shadows and strategically place kings and queens in all seats of power." True. Is Canada sending military to the border yet? I don't actually know what's going on in Canada. I was on Threads. I'm on Threads now. Fucking kill me. But I saw on Threads some Canadians were like, what's up with Americans? Like, why, I keep hearing all this about like why you can't rise up and overthrow or whatever, and the Canadians are like, I can imagine myself going to bat for the, and I'm like, you don't know what it's like to live in a police state. Like, I'm sorry, you don't know what it's like to live in a police state where you are constantly worried that if you lose your job, then you and your kids will go hungry and lose healthcare and not be able to find another job and end up homeless. Like, the homeless situation is just growing. People who were formerly able to work and support themselves are like homeless. They're probably still working, but like unable to afford a place to live. So, and like, we know that our police will just kill us. So there's like really only so much you can do. And I really don't think that these Canadians, who have probably never witnessed police brutality in their own country, like, I don't really think that they understand it. YouTube keeps giving me ads for trauma and other mental health treatments. Is it bad when social media is asking, "You good, babe?" That's funny. And I hope you're doing okay. I know that's sad. You know what's really funny is like, Jimmy brings up me having BPD more than I even think about having BPD. And because I've been talking to him about it now I've started getting shit on my Facebook about it. Like, okay, cool. Isn't the Second Amendment precisely for this scenario? So the thing is, like, I own a pistol, right? they have fucking grenades and tear gas and big machines that can create a sound so loud that it physically pops your eardrums. And they have, quote, less lethal rounds that they will shoot directly at your fucking face. Like, and they have machine guns and they have literal fucking tanks. Like, yes, but also not sufficient. We're bringing a gun to a missile fight. Like, that's not... You understand that the US government will just fucking bomb neighborhoods in its own country. Like, you know that that's happened before, right? Does everybody know? I can't remember the name off the top right now. It was in Oklahoma, I think. There's like a black neighborhood with like thriving black businesses, and they just fucking bombed it. They assassinated Martin Luther King Jr. Like, I don't think people understand the situation. Oh, and also a lot of the people who own guns are Christian nationalists who want to help. Like, they want to help kill you. So, like, do you have any idea what it's like to live in a country where half of your neighbors want you to be dead? Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. Yes, that's what it was. They bombed the Move Group in Pennsylvania, right? Whoop, don't need that. Chicago in the 80s, right? I received a letter from my doctor saying that they intend to provide gender-related care regardless of any federal orders or threats, which is nice, but it's terrifying that that has to be communicated in the first place. No kidding. For me, this year is going to be a lot of personal work, and I think as a country, we have a lot of growth to do as well if we want to escape tyranny. True. It's going to be hard work. Ghost says, cops literally bombed a neighborhood and prevented the firefighters from putting out the fires, and non-affiliated families took 25 years to get paid by the city for losing their houses. Yup. We do have our share of Nazis here in Canada too, unfortunately. We lag a few years behind in American craziness, but it grows like mold, right? Yeah. Waco, Texas. It's like it's literally happened so many times that I don't even know all of them. So, yeah, I don't know. It's like, so the problem I think that I'm having here is that people from other countries are acting like we haven't had a, like that, like we have not done our due diligence in ascertaining the realistic aspects of various tactics, right? Like, it's kind of like how people will constantly critique women for like, oh, you should wear that, or you shouldn't wear that, or like, what were you doing? Or, you know, trying to, or like, oh, why didn't you stand up for yourself in that situation? Because women are good at accurately assessing threats, accurately assessing when someone is going to escalate, because they have a life of experience and they can tell, like, I'm going to be brushed off, or I'm going to be ignored, or the violence will increase if I do XYZ. Americans, by and large, I think, like, at least, you know, people who are hesitant about the idea of like how to grapple with an authoritarian government, like, we have accurately assessed that we are in an abusive relationship that is going, like, the person in power, the people in power, the entity in power will just fucking kill you if you don't do what you're supposed to do, by way of directly killing you, or by way of starving you out, by way of siege tactics, by way of attrition. They will just kill you. So, yeah, I don't like... we can protest all we want, but it's also like I was reading something, I think it was on Threads earlier, about how the US government is kind of unique in that there isn't a mechanism for the people to directly intervene, right? It's actually very carefully designed, and it's decentralized in a way that, like, in other countries, when there's a coup, they can just, like, they attack the capital, they infiltrate the military, whatever. Like, I can't remember everything the person said. I'm not a fucking political analyst, so I don't know all the details. But basically, the way that we stagger elections, the way that each state has its own constitution, like, even if somebody dropped a weapon on Washington, D.C., like if somebody was like, goodbye, Washington, D.C., it's Al-Qaeda, I don't know, whoever, like Russia decides that they're just going to obliterate Washington, D.C., like the rest of the American government is still going to be a thing. And it has to be a relationship of cooperation in a way, because there is no easy way to exert power over all the states. Like, let's just say, for the sake of example, that there was like a communist revolution and they overthrew the government in Washington, D.C. Like, if that happened, guess what? There's a bunch of red states with National Guard who are gonna invade you back. They're gonna go in and retake it back. Like, I don't know what the fuck we could possibly do. We can't force a vote of no confidence. Like, we don't even have a mechanism for a vote of no confidence. Which some people might argue, like, that leads to more stability, you know? Like, what was it? Wasn't it in, like, 1 year that the UK government went through, like, multiple prime ministers recently? Or maybe it was just, like, 1 year right after the other. Which, you know, that can feel unstable, but it also means that there's a mechanism of accountability which we do not have. Far more likely than a takeover of the federal government is a fracturing of the union. That's my opinion. My opinion is that eventually the United States is going to balkanize, which is why I moved to Oregon. Like, because I'm right next to California, and California has its own fucking GDP that's bigger than many countries. So I think we can collectively kind of figure our shit out. But, like, yeah, that's my prediction. Don't know if that's what's actually going to happen, because, again, I've been fucking wrong many times, but I feel like balkanization is where it's headed. The U.S. system of government is designed to be decentralized, resilient, and resistant to change. There is no central seat of power you could seize that could give you control in one action. Yeah. It feels very hopeless. So I do want to say that because my opinion is that things are going to balkanize, and somebody said it in chat, the most important thing is work locally. Work locally. Volunteer. Get to know people in your community. Make sure you become familiar with the pathways of rehabilitation in your community. Like, who is my mayor? Like, how is that person doing at their job? What's up with the homeless problem? Like, we have all this money. Why are these shelters being mismanaged? Blah, blah, blah. All this kind of stuff. Learn where food production happens locally. Learn where food distribution happens locally, right? Could you explain what you mean by balkanize? Sure. So the phrase balkanize, technically it implies a level of conflict that may not be part of it. Balkanize is like when one cohesive government or like a country fractures, loses its central authority, and becomes several smaller countries. Usually those are fighting with each other over territory and resources. So when I say balkanize, what I think is going to happen is the United States government is going to either like lose power or dissolve Uh, Probably in correspondence with a likely global economic collapse that could be here as early as like 2040 or even potentially earlier, but like economic collapse is on the horizon. This is not my opinion. This is the trajectory that we're on based on the last 50 years of predicting what would happen to the economy. We're on the worst case scenario model. So if the global economy collapses, if the US economy collapses, I don't really functionally see how the federal government could continue to exist because, again, it's so decentralized. And what are you going to do if the money that you're paying the soldiers no longer. The money is not moneying, you know what I'm trying to say? So, in that sense, if the federal government is no longer able to exert authority, then what we're going to end up having is states are going to create coalitions. The states are probably going to want to maintain their borders. But so for me, like, I live in Oregon. We are right next to Washington. We are right next to California. And we have already created the like West Coast Health Alliance with Hawaii as well. And so 4 states working in coalition to set our own health guidelines in the midst of the CDC, collapsing and not giving a fuck. So basically what I'm trying to say is if the United States government fractures, then we have California's GDP and an already existing coalition of states that are touching one another. So then you'll have Minnesota that's kind of just fucked out there in the middle of everything with no other states in their immediate area that will coalition with them because like, okay, what have you got? Like Iowa and like the Dakotas and stuff. So that sucks. And then you've got like the Northeast. The Northeast is likely to be kind of a liberal coalition of sorts. And so yeah, that's like what balkanize means. Balkanize means like the bigger country falls apart and then parts of that country group together or start exerting authority and defending their borders and creating their own economies and stuff. So yeah, that's the idea. Got that Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis triangle. Yeah, sure, you got Chicago. I've long thought that USA would make a lot more sense as 5 or more countries. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, what are you going to do with, like, I don't know. It's just such a big country. Like, how is this one thing? And the answer is because it's 50 things that have agreed to be one thing, and that's how it works. Colorado's also going to be in a bad place. Yeah. I guess Colorado and New Mexico share a border, and so they could coalition together, but it would still be rough. I guess Minnesota could just become part of Canada. True. Canada, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Minna-Wishington is already a cultural thing. Okay, great. I'm happy for you. I love that. I've been wanting to move to Oregon for years, but I lack resources. If this ends up happening in my lifetime, I have a feeling that I'll be donezo. This is part of why I've been advocating for people like, look, if you need to sell everything you own in order to move, then you should do that. Like, if you're trans and you're in a red state, yeah, but I wouldn't want President Newsom of Cascadia. I think the cool thing is that there would be so many more people than there are currently in California to vote on that. Like, you'd get all of Washington and Oregon all getting to vote on that. Honestly, frankly, it probably would be more like California, Oregon, and Washington maintain their own governorships, but we just work as a coalition government with possibly not even one central leader. I could imagine it being more like, we're going to have like 3 executors who all work on a panel in the way that you'll have like a city council, you know? Kansas will get screwed by all the states around them. I mean, it's just, it is a red state. Like, it is just going to be a bunch of red states there. I would welcome any states that are sick of fascism joining Canada. You just have to share a border, right? Neppy says, there's talk in my friend group of the East Coast states having enough will, people, and resources to become their own country. Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, New York, question mark, Rhode Island. Yeah, the only problem is that you have Maryland over there, and that, you know, I think it would be harder to get away from the control of the central federal government because you are so close to the heart of the central control of the central government. So that's part of why I was like, West Coast, get me the fuck out of here. If I sell everything I own, I'll have enough money to move down the street if I get a good deal. Yeah. I do wish that we had more infrastructure. Like, if I had infinite money, I would just buy an apartment building and be like, hey, any trans people who want to move up here, like, all you have to do is buy your plane ticket or train ticket, and I have an apartment that you can live in for, like, until you get a job. And then if you want to pay me money, then that would be a great arrangement. But, like, if I have infinite money... I'm sorry, we're not changing the time of the transatlantic call-in show. I have asked, and they're not going to do it. It doesn't cost much to move to a new state. It costs more to move with all your stuff and get shelter and food at your destination. Right, like you would need to... That was the whole moving cost for us, was like we took everything that we owned, for the most part. We got rid of some stuff, but everything that we owned into a U-Haul, and then across the country, and all the gas that took, and having a new apartment, and like paying the paying the fees for all that shit. And then my partner didn't have a job when we got here. He took a couple of months to find a job once we got here, so thankfully we had plenty of cushion, like mostly thanks to you guys. So yeah, it was rough. I'm not saying that it's cheap or that it's easy, but you know, I'm saying, like, if you're gonna either be dead or poor, like, that's an easy choice. Be poor. I want to do that with a house. Just have a place for wayward queers. Could happen. Have to keep surviving and win human rights abuse case. I don't want people in my house. And I don't want to force people to share a space. Like, I would just buy an apartment building and be like, look, you can have your autonomy and privacy. Every person gets a 1-bedroom apartment. Or if you have a family, you get like a 3-bedroom apartment. Like, you know, just go there. Sometimes getting your documents updated is way too expensive for no reason. Had to pay $150 to get a different state's driver's license. So I will say it was definitely pretty expensive to get, like, I had to get a new title for my car, new plates for my car, new driver's license. All that stuff was expensive, but also it was like the smoothest process. You know, I feel like you are paying more, but you're also getting better services. So I would not personally complain too much about that. I'm not, yeah, again, like, yes, it is expensive, but also, like, in Oregon, you only get your plates, you only replace the sticker every 2 years instead of every 1 year. So, like, how do I know that it's not going to ultimately be a benefit? I haven't actually done the math. Like, okay, so if I'm paying for 2 years at once instead of 1 year at once, I didn't actually make that comparison. So the DMV was the easiest part. Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, in Kansas, if I wanted my driver's license updated, I had to go to the DMV. But if I needed to get my car retitled or get my registration done, pay the taxes on my car every year, I had to go to the treasurer's office. Here, you just do it all in one building. I got my new title, my VIN inspection, my new plates, my driver's license, all in the same appointment, which I feel like is significant. And it was fast. I guess, granted, we went on a weekday because, yeah, we went like in the morning on a weekday. But yeah, it just seemed like it was really worth it. Howdy. Faulty branches. The perks in Oregon outweigh the negatives. Yeah. But, again, it's not a cheap or easy decision to have to make, I know a family who just moved to France from Texas, and it was so fucking expensive. They even got rid of a lot of their stuff and, sold their cars and everything, and it was still a huge process, a huge expense. Yeah, government efficiency is crazy, right? Yeah. I haven't paid property taxes, or sorry, not property. I haven't paid income taxes here yet, so maybe I'll feel worse about that soon. I've heard that the tax situation in Oregon is rough, but I also felt like in Kansas, we would pay in more than we thought we needed to throughout the year, and we would still owe Kansas income tax. I was like, what the fuck? So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Still 76 people in here. Thanks, everybody, for chilling. Everybody just paid rent, so I guess we're not going to get to the stream goal of $100 today. But that's okay. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. JK, my BFF, Jill. I've come to terms with the fact I won't ever live in Oregon, but gods, I love it there. I've wanted to be there since I was 8. I don't know. It's a long life. You never know. I might end up getting out of here a little bit earlier than usual because I am hungry and tired, honestly. And I kind of am running out of things to say. I'm hopeful for 2026 in some ways, and I'm scared for 2026 in some ways. I'm so happy we generally don't have to do our own taxes in the UK. Yeah, it sucks. I inherited a small house. It's tiny and in bad shape. But yeah, sure. That's another thing that makes it hard to move. You're I literally have a house. TBH, I do prefer Washington sales tax instead of Oregon income tax. Sales tax means you can use your money to make more money until you need to spend it. Oregon gets to make the money. I guess I don't really see the huge distinction there, but it's all good. I'm going to read at least 2 whole books. Hell yes, that's big plans for this year. And if there's anything that you want to see from me in 2026, I am in a place where I'm open to ideas. What's your favorite video of mine? Not video necessarily each individual video, but what's your favorite style of video from me? Of course, you here on the live stream probably like my just talking at the camera videos the most. Yeah. Thank you, Pillbug Hug. Great name. I'm doing my part. Yes, $15 super chat. Thank you so much. It's very, very, very kind. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I give you a little heart. I give you a little kiss. Yeah. So I'm 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 hoping. I feel like this year, I think that this year is going to demand a lot from me, and that I need to do a good job
Allison
of.
has donated
Oh my god.
$30. I love your streams. Keep it up.
Oh my god. The donations are flooding in suddenly. What is happening? Well, we just hit the goal through super chats. So, Jesus, thank you. Thank you, Lena, for the $50 super chat. That's very kind. Thank you for Allison with the $30 saying, I love your streams. Keep it up. Thank you so much. And we hit the goal, which means we open the treasure chest. I need to make a song that's like the treasure chest song. It's definitely not a mimic. It's a treasure chest song. I don't know what vibe I'm going for here. Oh, there's a little tuft of Mitternacht's hair stuck to this. That is sad. Okay, what is in the box? Ooh. In the box, we have. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Stop. Stop it. Stop. Stop. Okay. I'll lose one of my fingers one of these days. What I have here is a watercolor painting. I did this yesterday. Or was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Or the day before, maybe? I can't remember. I've made a campfire. I'm just kind of experimenting with the medium. I don't really know a lot about watercolor, and also I think the watercolor paints that I got suck. But, you know, I was just like, ooh, let's do a thing. Let's just see how that happens. It's a campfire. Watercolor. I might do some, like, closer pictures of these and put them on my Patreon. Like, some higher quality pictures. I don't know. Also, my life is on fire. Can you tell? This was maybe a little bit of an expression of a feeling about what's going on in my personal life, which, again, we're not talking about it, but I'm curious how you have a campfire on the ocean. Well, I mean, it's supposed to just be, like, green. But I guess, like, I mixed a little bit of black in with it, and black is actually just really dark blue, so it made it look blue. I don't know. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of dicking around with the paints themselves. But thank you, everybody, for your donations right at the end. That was very sweet. I hope that you feel satisfied with the little thing that I shared with you. To be honest, I would love to see you and Josie doing more legal analysis around the LGBT issues on a regular basis. That would be a killer segment. That sounds fucking terrible, but thank you for your feedback. I guess I could, like, every couple of months or so have Josie come up here on my show or something and talk about it. Or maybe I could convince her, like, hey, let's just talk for like 15 minutes during Takis sometime about, like, what are some of these political opinions. I don't know. More media analysis, particularly of films, would be sweet. I always love seeing more folks' takes on my favorite art medium. Yes. So first of all, I do, if you don't know Faulty Branches, I have a podcast with Gayfesh and Demon Mama, The Many Worlds Hypothesis, on the Gayfesh YouTube channel. And we're doing the Star Trek movies right now. Like, I just watched Star Trek Nemesis, which was definitely a movie. And we're going to record the episode tomorrow talking about that movie. And like I said, I'm going to do a Fire and Ash video. I would really love to do White Chicks soon. That's on my list because Marlon Wayans has, like, a trans kid. And so I just think, like, it would be an avenue to, first of all, talk about the movie and be like, you know, from a trans lens, is this done well, or is this exploitative? And then also it gives us an opportunity to talk about Marlon Wayans as a father, and, you know, that even if this was trans misogynistic originally, like, he has evolved on that. Because one of the things I liked about when we talked about She's the Man with Amanda Bynes, part of what I enjoyed being able to talk about with that was the real world situation of Amanda Bynes getting gender dysphoria from the experience of playing a man. Like she would go to the bathroom between takes and like put lip gloss on just so that she could see herself in her own face because it was like causing her issues. But that was fine. That was fun. I want to hear more about what is happening to fight these anti-trans rules, laws, edicts. Okay, so we could cover protests potentially. Oh my god, Jakar has a painting station with roughly 350 pots of paint. Yikes, that's crazy. I do not have space. Those last couple TNG era movies were a bit shite. Yeah. So actually what's really funny is because Insurrection and Nemesis are both considered to be kind of bad movies, we actually watched Galaxy Quest in between the two because Gayfesh was like, let's keep up with the good movie, bad movie, good movie, bad movie kind of pattern. So yeah, we actually included Galaxy Quest in our Star Trek movies series, which is fun. Just to be clear, guys, all the movie analysis is happening on Musing Moss. So that's like my passion project. If I could get Musing Moss to a place where it makes a decent amount of money, I would be more than willing to like pivot harder into that. So make sure you're subscribed at Musing Moss if you want to see any of my movie reviews or that kind of conversation. Or like if I read a book and I have thoughts that I want to put out there, you know, that's going to be the place for it. In an ideal world, what I would like to be able to do this year is one upload a week each. Now maybe that's putting a lot of pressure on me, but if I'm just taking content mostly from my appearances on The Line, adding some commentary maybe, there's going to be events randomly that happen through the year that I'm going to be like, shit, I really need to sit down and talk about this. So I think I could do like weekly if I'm really on my shit with the political stuff. And then I guess I would just have to like watch one movie per week to make a video about some video analysis thing. That's like the ideal situation. Perhaps I will not be able to keep that up, but I think that that's kind of a general, at least every other week. Like if I did a Musing Moss one week and then a Luxander the next week and just kind of stagger it, I don't know. I've been painting miniatures for 35 years. Okay, that the 350 pots of paint makes sense then. Trinket says, I'll be honest, the thing that legit got me to subscribe was a day that you were on Takis and Arden had to go to the bathroom and your vamping was just pure chaos. Loved it. Unhinged in the best kind of way. That is so true. I am a chaos gremlin. It's so true. I'm a chaos gremlin who's trying to look more put together. Someone please explain to me how to prevent my eyeliner from transferring onto my upper eyelid. I did end up putting it there on purpose, but I don't really like it. I don't know. Maybe, again, like maybe I just need to put like a neutral eyeshadow on and it'll transfer less. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and call it there. I'm going to go get some fucking Burger King or something. I don't know. And I'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. That's the plan. I'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. And I'm recording a podcast. Oh, you'll see a video from me on Tuesday. At least one video this week from me if you're following Musing Moss. So, love you guys, and I'll see you then. Have a good week. Thanks everybody who donated. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good time.